International games. You know, the thing that everybody loves in the United States football wise. Yeah, no, I think every football fan in the United States arguably hates international games just because like the players get jet lagged and stuff like that. Anything can happen in international games when it comes to, you know, how the game flow goes. So there's a lot of people who hate them. Now, if you're not in the United States and you're an international fan, you love them. And you really should. You get to watch NFL football. So I made every single Ravens game on their schedule set up to be a Brazil game. That's right. I just sold the Ravens to Brazil. Shout out to that fact. But we're just going to see how it goes. Week 1, Brazil. Week 2, you guessed it. Can you guess where we're headed? Baltimore? No, sir. We are headed to the beautiful Brazil. Brazil. It's like bruh and then zil. So yes, every single game's in Brazil. You probably already kind of got that perspective. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue this Ravens schedule. See how good they can do. So week 1, they win. Week 2, they lose. Week 3, they win. Okay. And for some reason, Malik Harrison, they want to trade him. But they're not going to focus on that right now because they got to play the Bills. Beat the Bills. 3-1 so far. So the national games not really impacting Madden teams, it looks like. Because they're currently 5-1. Really want to get Malik Harrison out of town, apparently. Wow, they're actually doing really freaking good. I mean, I might have to sell the team to Brazil. Holy moly. 8-1. Okay, 8-2. They lost to my Bengals. Let's go. 9-2. Play the Chargers. 10-2. And they go into their bye week losing to the Eagles, but with a 10-3 record. Play the Giants coming off a bye week. Okay, they play the Steelers after that. Beat the Steelers. They play the Texans, who are 9-6. Arguably, they are fighting for a playoff spot, so it makes sense. They lose to the Brownies, and they go into the playoffs with a 12-5 record, winning the division. Not a bad season for playing every single game in Brazil. Like, that was actually pretty decently okay. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. Like, should I expect him to do bad or should I expect him to do good? But I guess technically speaking, because every game what they played was in Brazil, they didn't really get jet lagged, you know? So like, obviously, like normally you get jet lagged because you have to come back to America, go to Brazil, come back to America, go to Brazil. But because every game, no matter who they played, was in their home team, Brazil, not jet lagged really. So only 26 touchdowns for Lamar Jackson though. So also that meant that half the teams, every team that played them had to travel to Brazil. So that might be also a factor. Every game was a home game because every game was in Brazil. Low key, I think I just gave the Ravens every single game as a home game. Shout out to that fact. Or shout out to the fact that we're not going to let them play the playoffs in Baltimore because we are going to do a second sim. Mark it, a second one. Rip. Second. All right. Let's try this again. This time I was going to sim the whole season. Usually second sims, they do better than the first sim. So I'm going to assume that they're going to do better in this sim. If not, then that whole theory goes out the window and I can never have that theory again. So hopefully the second one goes better than the first one. Although they did go really good in the first one. So I don't have faith the second one will go better. And the second one, they went 14-3. So they did actually go better. And they won the conference. Win the conference, go 14-3. everything looks better when every game you play is in Brazil. 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Still such a low number for touchdowns. Mark Andrews this time led the NFL. Or led the Ravens, not the NFL. Led the Ravens. And even though it was the Brazil man still came in at 4th for MVP race. So, a lot of difficult, grinds there. Having to play in Brazil every single week. But apparently I just sold the team to Brazil, so I guess that's how that works. They also lose in the first round of the playoffs for themselves to the Jets. So, guess the first time playing in MT Bank Stadium in over a year, and yeah, they lose. So, shout out to that fact. Cowboys win a Super Bowl. Will might end.